I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. Yeah.
So, Nick, this has been one of my more favorite conversations in recent memory that I've been engaging on Twitter the last couple days or so.
Oh, you love getting in fights on Twitter these days?
No, it's not a fight. It's just I enjoy a good conversation. Mm-hmm. You know, a good healthy debate.
Okay.
What are your summer drinks of choice?
Summer drinks of choice. I don't really think that I could say I have one. I'm not a big seasonal guy. I like Sam's, whatever Sam Adams seasonal is. So right now it's summer ale.
The summer ale, sure.
Yeah, so I like that. But I'm generally, I usually stick to my Scotch.
Even in the summertime, huh?
Always, yep. Yeah? Scotch, bourbon, whiskey in that order.
Okay.
What about you? I guess I appreciate lemonade a little bit more now, but...
Okay, yeah. I mean, it didn't have to be alcoholic necessarily. I mean, that's where I was thinking.
Yeah,
but
that's why
things you want to enjoy, a nice, tart lemonade on a summer
I'm a raging alcoholic. Not that you should joke about that kind of thing, but... yeah.
But here you are.
Yeah, here I am.
You're doing it anyway. Favorite summer drinks. First and foremost, John Daly's. Number one. You familiar?
That is a Arnold Palmer with alcohol in it, right?
With vodka, yeah.
Vodka, okay. Yeah. I didn't know what kind of alcohol.
You sound like a kid. The key of always knowing when someone who was asking for a drink who was underage was if they, mixed up the name. So if it's like, can I have a Coke and Jack? And you'd be like, no, I'm going to have to see some ID on that one.
Oh, well, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's a Jack and Coke.
I never worked in. I mean, it makes sense. I never worked in the food service industry like you did.
Yeah, well, I find that to be almost a prerequisite for most people
to work in.
Yeah, just for life.
Oh, okay.
You should probably work in the restaurant industry. It's a great way to get to know how people work.
Very humbling experience, I imagine, too.
How they operate. Very humbling. Often frustrating.
I bet.
Sometimes satisfying.
Satisfying.
Well, yeah, you come out with a cash in hand at the end of the night.
Oh, yeah, okay, with the tips and
sometimes come out with like $300-$400.
Not if you're a busboy, though, right?
Oh, no, you don't be a busboy.
Right, but didn't you have to be a busboy for a little bit?
That's why I was a dishwasher, I was a busboy, and then I was a waiter.
Okay, so you've done it all.
Yeah, never bartended. But
it's probably just as well. You probably would have been going shot for shot with some of the people.
Yeah, you're usually recommended, told beforehand that you really shouldn't drink on the job, as in most places.
I think that's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you said John Daly's.
Yes, John Daly's, first and foremost. Number two, I put this list on Twitter, at Wesley Sykes _ if you're interested. This was a conversation that Joe Gilmore and I were engaging in.
The Doc?
Yes, of course, Doc Backcracker there. Number two, Miller High Lifes, bottles only.
Okay.
Bottles only.
That bottles in
it's
general
a big difference.
Makes a huge difference.
But number three are the Silver Bullets or the ICBLs.
Okay.
Coors Lights, Ice Cold Bud Lights. Cans only.
That's fair. Yeah, there's a silver bullet.
I just want to pound them. Yeah, I just want to pound them at that point, you know?
It's not a silver bullet if it's not in a can.
Right, exactly. But I don't know why. Those beers taste better in the aluminum cans, and Miller High Life tastes better in glass bottles.
I think most drink. I think there's always rare exceptions, but I think that in that instance,
it just feels better to me. I don't know why. I can't explain it.
I think it's just the silver bullet name.
Yeah,
it just has that effect. That's not the Mandela effect, is it?
It could be.
Tim, would that qualify as a Mandela effect?
That it tastes different in a different form?
That you like that the one alcoholic beverage that Wes likes in a can is nicknamed Silver Bullet, but everything else he prefers it in a bottle. Or a glass, I would assume, too.
No, that's not Mandela.
Okay,
that's just personal preference.
I think but that's not a West thing, though. That's an everybody thing.
No, but just to throw a kink in the operation.
Yeah.
How do you feel about aluminum bottles?
No,
because
they come in the pints. It's too long to drink.
Yeah, I think Bud Light and Budweiser are the only ones that taste good in those.
See, I just don't. I don't like the mouth, the big mouth feel to it.
Yeah, the wide mouth.
I'm just not a fan. It doesn't work. Like
the
that.
wide mouth feels like somebody that's trying to make out with you that you're just not into it.
Right, exactly. Which I haven't really run into that issue in my last 6 years or so. I've been kind of removed from that sensation, if you will. Number 4 in this very prolonged list, Devil's Purse draft beer, a very nice local brewery out of the Dennis. I believe it's South Dennis, out in the Cape.
Okay.
Very drinkable beer. Mm-hmm. Number 5, vodka soda splash of cran. A little twist on the Cape Codder.
You like some vodka, huh?
Yeah, well, in the summertime, it's light.
You got any Russian in your
No,
blood?
no. I'm Irish, Italian, English, Great British.
What is Sykes?
I think that's more Irish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think the only Sykes I knew, I think he was Portuguese, so I didn't know if...
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. No,
Yeah,
it's not. No
no.
Portuguese in my system.
Okay.
We will be talking about another Sykes today. He may come up in a list here.
Really?
As we unveil our first annual fictional basketball player draft.
Oh, right. Yep.
In honor of NBA free agency, which just opened up at 6 o'clock on Sunday.
Oh, my God.
Are you over it?
I mean,
24 hours in,
it's fun. I mean, I've been busy as hell with it, but it's it's a lot. It's been bananas, dude, with Kyrie and Durant and Jimmy Butler and everybody else on this one. D'Angelo Russell's going to Golden State.
Oh, sure.
Obviously, Kemba is now coming here.
Right. You got your Inez Cantor fix?
Dude, people love Enes Kanter, or at least everybody has an opinion on Enes Kanter.
Well, he's a man full of opinions.
That's right. That's very true.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and say that this is a good move by the Celtics. Not that people want to hear my basketball opinion right now in this show, but
well, it's a nice crossover event for us.
Mm-hmm. This is true, but he's not not for me. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm always up for surprises. I would say that's kind of how I felt about Kemba Walker.
Oh, really?
I'm not upset about it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm interested. The thing is that they don't have Horford. If they had Horford, I think that would be with Walker. That would be. They could be better than the Kyrie era. Now it's tougher for me to say that, but we keep underestimating. I think a lot of people are. What are Jalen and Jason going to look like now?
Exactly. Yeah, they have to take that next step.
If they do, then this team can definitely be better than
the
last
sky's the limit, I would say.
For sure. Even if just one of them does.
Yes, and the voice that you were listening to, as we are in episode 23 of the Change My Mind podcast, is, I would say, in my opinion, the John Stockton to my Karl Malone, Mr. Nick Fryer.
Okay.
How's that sound, right?
I can live with that one for sure.
That's a hell of a duo. That's an all-time duo right there.
It is an all-time duo. They didn't win jack, but...
No, but you could say they got robbed of a title.
Right.
Yeah, on a non-call. Yeah, sure. Hopefully you're following along on our, WBSM 1420 AM YouTube live stream, which I believe we got the kinks worked out. We had some technical difficulties last week, if I remember correctly.
It got out a lot faster than it normally does, I can tell you that.
Yes.
We always tweet that out from our Twitter account, at Change My Mind Pod.
Right, yeah. So hopefully, my Twitter is telling me I already sent that tweet.
Oh, well, look at
you. So
you.
you can head over there right now.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, as I mentioned, we'll be doing fictional basketball player drafts. Not just movies, maybe some television shows, maybe some media that is not on the silver or the big screen. I think that's in play.
I looked over the list that you had drawn up, and I'm not certain who you're silver screen, I know what you're talking about. Big screen, obviously.
Yeah. Well, there's some from commercials that come in.
There are? Oh,
yeah.
That's where... Originally from commercials. Fair enough. I know who you're talking about that.
Yeah.
But there are a few characters who you decided...
Some music videos.
There's a certain group of characters that you elected to leave out. And just so everybody knows, Wes, I have not told Wes who I'm talking about. Tim knows who I'm talking about. So I'm curious your explanation for
yes. Oh, I think I know where you're going.
Now you know. Okay. So we'll address that a little bit later on.
Yeah.
We got to get to the news first. What do you got for me this week to start off, Wes?
Well, yeah. So big stuff coming on here as we open up. We're 1 day away, as it is on Monday, July 1st, between the world premiere of Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Yep.
And the early signs are that it's getting great reviews. Let me see here as I'm just putting in.
Oh yeah, look, yeah.
My time frame here. So IMDb has it at 8.1 out of 10, which to kind of put you in range of some recent movies and some other Spider-Man movies. Avengers Endgame, it was an 8.7. Infinity War, an 8.5. Spider-Man Homecoming, a 7.5, so better than the original. Spider-Verse was an 8.5.
Huh.
So that's still, I think, the best Spider-Man movie according to IMDb.
Huh.
Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 at 7.3, as well as the original Spider-Man with, what's his name there? Why am I blanking on it? Tobey Maguire. Thank you. 7.3 as well. Now, if you want to include some other sites, Rotten Tomatoes has it certified fresh at 91.
But I heard they suck.
Yeah, it's your 69 on Metacritic. And Geeks Worldwide, our very own George Huertas. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. I gave it an 8 out of 10, citing its strengths being with the character development of Spider-Man / Peter Parker, but calling the CGI serviceable, but that there's plenty of it.
Look at you citing, giving Geeks Worldwide the love that.
Well, I think it's important to, pay a little homage to those who host us.
Yes, because we are Geeks Worldwide and a WBSM podcast. I like that. Yeah. So, first thing, I don't like saying this, but I would tend to think that I'll probably fall more in line with Rotten Tomatoes on this.
A little bit higher?
I haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
Maybe, you know what? I'm usually more critical of Spider-Man than most, though. So maybe I'll be more. But I'm stunned at IMDb's 7.5 rating for Homecoming.
Yeah, I know it. I thought that was one of the best movies that was out. I thought that was the best Spider-Man to date before Spider-Verse. Really, have you seen Spider-Verse yet?
I've seen them all. Spider-Verse was phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was so good.
Which is officially on Netflix now, by the way.
Oh, okay. My issue with the ratings on this, and look, I respect IMDb's scores, but I'm still going to debate them. That you're going to put Infinity War, and you're going to give that the same grade as Spider-Verse. Love Spider-Verse. Awesome. I think it's a great movie for anyone.
It's an Oscar winner.
It is?
Yeah, best animated film.
Oh, you know what? It deserves it. But I don't understand how you're 8.5. I think is fair, but why is Infinity War an 8.5 too? I mean, I feel like that should be a 9, and then Endgame should be. I've already been on record saying it should be a 10 out of 10.
Perfect, perfect 100 there.
But even if they said it was a 95 or a 92, I would be fine with it. 8.7 though, that's tough. And then Spider-Man 2, the Raimi one is 7.3, and the original Spider-Man is 7.3.
Yeah, which I think is, I actually like the second one better. Doc Ock is in there. I think that's great. There's a certain level of cheesiness that I like in the third one, even though it's a awfully long and pretty bad movie.
You like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely funny parts to it that it's so bad that it's funny.
I enjoyed it as a kid, but looking back on it now, I would never watch it again.
The emo Spider-Man with the dancing scene, like that's like so bad that it's funny.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I can understand that. I mean, obviously,
It's cringeworthy to a strong degree.
Definitely cringeworthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like the original Spider-Man catches a lot of shade. Like, when I first started reviewing comics and had the separate Twitter account, the one that people who listen to this show follow, Fry_guy1.
Yes.
I wanted to get into that Twitter, like that side of Twitter, and escape the sports stuff a little bit, because I was like, oh, it's comics, it's going to be fun, blah, 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 just talk about BS all the time. No, there's just as much controversy over there.
Oh, yeah, it's even worse.
As
if you think of like the MCU versus DCEU.
And then the Snyder people.
Yeah, right.
But then there's the Raimi people, too. Like, there's people who, love Raimi, which I respect that, but then there are people who want to dump on it all the time. It's like, guys, what's the issue?
For its time, it's great.
Seriously, like, so we're always quick to give Iron Man and Robert Downey Jr. all the credit in the world, but really all that stuff started with I always say X-Men, but there's X-Men, there's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I remember when Spider-Man first came out, Wes, and
that was a huge deal.
Huge
deal.
God, I mean the outfit. He's still my favorite outfit.
Yeah, I think that I would have to go back and do some reviewing of that.
That's fair. I mean, I love the long legs on the spider logo though.
Sure.
As compared to the tiny little bug, tick that we get.
Right. Right, but that is a drone, which is kind of cool.
That's fair.
Do you have any expectations for Spider-Man Homecoming? I know you said you'd fall more in line with the 91% Rotten Tomatoes score.
I'm assuming that going into it. Let me put it this way. I'm more inclined to think that I'll give it somewhere between a 91 and an 84 than I would under an 8. Or an 80, excuse me. So, but yeah, there are definitely high expectations coming in. This is the first movie after Endgame.
Yeah, and this is supposed to be wrapping up the Infinity Saga.
I just hope they don't. My big thing is don't turn Gyllenhaal's character into a full-blown hero. Don't pull a Mystique, with X-Men on us.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I think there's some information out there about where he's coming from and what he's supposed to be and whether he's really a hero or anti-hero or. So I think that I think that's still open I've heard it on a bunch of different sides, that he could be a good guy, that he could be, a bad guy trying to be a good guy who's really a bad guy.
That's what I'm hoping, that he's really a bad guy. But do you have any expectations?
Yeah, well, I want to see how they tie in Tony Stark and Iron Man, because he's supposed to be playing, some sort of a bigger role in this.
Okay.
I want to see how this maybe bridges the gap into Phase 4, I believe. I think it's Phase 4.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to see, what you can do with Spider-Man now that he's a real full-fledged superhero and not really, the training wheels are off. So he hasn't really gotten that chance. Like, I feel like you saw him a lot in Infinity War, but not as much in Endgame, obviously.
Right. Yep.
So, you haven't really seen him in action by himself a whole lot since Spider-Man Homecoming.
Right. I agree.
So I'm excited to see what, a little bit more grown-up Peter Parker is. And if they kind of tease out the Sinister Six. I don't know if that's supposed to be a end-credit, mid-credit scene, or if that kind of comes together towards the end.
I don't know.
Maybe does Norman Osborn buy the Tony Stark Avengers Tower?
Ooh.
That's been rumored.
Really?
Yeah, there's speculation.
Sure, there's a ton of speculation.
Sure.
Out there.
Yeah, you go hit up your Reddits, your YouTubes. You can find that stuff.
And then we got some other MCU related stuff too, right?
Yeah. Also, with a Geeks Worldwide tip to Thomas Polito.
Yeah, he's
read some photos, some set photos from the filming of Black Widow, of course, the Scarlett Johansson solo film. Well, I guess that's the other way around, but you know what I'm saying.
Must follow on Twitter.
So yeah, we're trying to figure out where this was going to be, right? So it's been a lot of speculation that this is a prequel. Are they going to go back in time? Are they going to de-age her face at all? What's this going to be? So I guess some of these set photos show her driving a 2017 BMW SUV with no white hair. So 2017, you feel like you're trying to figure out the timeline of it. If they're really going with a, set piece, you're going to have the car from the time that you're supposed to be in, right? So
yeah,
they're saying, Thomas Polito, Geeks Worldwide, they're saying that this is between Civil War and Infinity War, so not necessarily a prequel. Maybe after she's on the run from the after the Sokovia Accords were signed, and before the Secret Avengers with
what are we doing?
What's his name? Steve Rogers, but what's his name when he goes
Nomad?
Yes, thank you.
If that's the plan? I hope to honestly. I never want Tom to be wrong, because obviously we write for the same site, but
yep.
What? I hope he's wrong. This sounds like a bad idea.
I don't know. I think that sounds kind of cool.
Why? It's such a random spot to do it. I mean, in some ways, I guess it makes sense. But
yeah, but they're supposedly bringing in Taskmaster, which I think is a cool villain.
A lot of people like Taskmaster.
They said maybe there's that Red Room program that what you kind of saw. I think it was in Age of Ultron.
Yeah,
that she kind of gets those flashbacks to in that dream state.
And it's gonna.
So maybe there's some more Black Widow type assassins out there that she has to deal with.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I guess if that's what happens, I'm sure it's going to have sweet action. And if Taskmaster's in it, then I'm definitely for it. I just don't get why that's when they're going to do it. But I guess it would be a lot harder to explain Taskmaster being around way back then, and then why is he not around now unless they kill him.
And who knows? Maybe they go back and do flash forwards, flashbacks and stuff, because I think the big thing I wanted to see out of this was the Budapest trip that Hawkeye and her were on. And I think even Nick Fury makes a reference to it in one of the movies.
Oh, does he? I don't
think so.
That.
I thought it was in Captain Marvel. He makes a reference to it.
Now, obviously, I know, and you are not afraid to say that you don't read the comics.
Yes.
Do you know what Taskmaster's powers are?
So I only know this from Marvel Contest of Champions.
Okay.
Where I had him as a one of my heroes, so to speak.
Great look.
He's great. So he's a master tactician, from what I understand.
So he's able to copy the fighting style of anybody he's fighting against, and be able to combat it perfectly. So you can't
He's like a mirror image.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's that's. I never would have ever thought of an idea like that as a power.
Right.
But he's obviously very difficult to take down. Tim, have you read stuff with him in it before? Because I've never really read any Taskmaster stuff.
No, not really, no.
Okay. I think the only thing I saw him in Punisher versus Punisher versus Deadpool. He was in there a little bit, but not a ton. But either way, so yeah, he's definitely an interesting villain to bring into the fray. I wonder how they're going to handle his appearance, because obviously the Contest of Champions look is pretty much what he's. All I know him looking like.
But maybe it's like he's got like a mask, almost like Crossbones had, where it's not exactly like a Skeletor type of thing, where that's just what he wears.
Gotcha. It's similar but different.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They've been making modifications left and right.
And I like that, obviously, I think we kind of touched on this last week with the MCU moving further out into the cosmic realm and overpowered characters and how you can be able to keep them grounded and related. I think keeping this on a small scale and a pocket between a couple of movies that we're already familiar with a villain that's also grounded and human and has a lot of, I'm not sure if he's human, but, he has human... he's not from outer space.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
He's of Earth.
I appreciate that point because you're right. So even if this is not in an area where I like as much, I will appreciate this movie knowing that now.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like Ant-Man and the Wasp type of small scale type of thing.
Yes, I love those are the movies. Those are honestly the movies that I like more. I mean, I love Endgame, I love Infinity War, all that stuff, but I don't need the big events all the time.
And if this comes out after, is the first movie after Spider-Man: Far From Home. Maybe that's a good way to kind of still keep things grounded. You have that slow rising action after the peak of Endgame, and you're going to be slowly building back up to whatever is next.
Whatever the hell is next.
Yeah.
Maybe Secret Wars, which is what you've been dying for.
That's what I'm hoping for.
But we also got more from Thomas Polito of Geeks Worldwide. He apparently has he has the name of the actress who's supposed to play Catwoman in Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yeah, let me look this girl up here.
The name rang a bell, but I've never seen her before. I showed Tim a picture of her. I've never seen her. She's in she's in Mission Impossible Fallout. She plays White Widow. I assume no relation to Black Widow. I don't know anything about this actress. I looked up her IMDb, recognized none of the stuff she's ever been in. So I don't know I have no idea what to expect with this girl. It's just that's the name. So if you guys want to go check her out and try and figure things out, or if you know who she is.
Yeah, I'm looking for a photo, but my internet is kind of slow right now at the moment. But I did like Mission Impossible Fallout. If she was the main.
Here you go. That's her.
Oh yeah, no, I recognize her. Okay. Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. So you guys can look her up. Tom has her on his Twitter account at Thomas_Polito. But anyways, so that's what we got for news actually.
Well, I just want to get Wes's take on this. So I was telling Nick earlier, Aubrey Plaza was. She was lobbying hard for Catwoman.
I would have loved that. I think she could have done a great job. I just listened to a podcast with her on. Now I'm not a big fan of Dax Shepard, but I do enjoy his podcast because he gets great guests on. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of a weird thing. Like I'm not a big fan of the host, but he has great guests on. So I always find myself listening to it. But he had Aubrey Plaza on. She's hysterical.
Oh yeah, she really is, and I love her character that she plays on late night shows.
Oh yeah,
where she's always like awkward and doesn't want to be there, and
right.
Well, basically April from Parks and Rec.
Right, so, which essentially was in this podcast they were talking about that she was supposed to be like this really ditzy kind of girly girl, vapid assistant of Leslie Knope. And then through conversations with Michael Schur and someone else, I'm forgetting, one of the other showrunners there, said, like, well, why don't we make her this really smart kind of feminist version of a girl who just doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And then that's how it kind of came. So she ended up like kind of really putting herself into that role.
She did a great job. Yeah, she was awesome in the show.
Do you feel being the voice of Grumpy Cat ruined her from being able to be Catwoman?
Where was she in Grumpy Cat?
They actually made a Grumpy Cat like made-for-TV Lifetime movie or something.
Really?
And she was the voice of Grumpy Cat.
No, I think that's just like a solid prerequisite.
I don't know if she was in it or she was the voice. I don't know, but she was associated with Grumpy Cat.
Okay. No, I can get behind that. I think she would be perfect for that, actually.
I'm all set with Aubrey Plaza as my
now I'm disappointed.
Thanks, though.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you're not a fan?
Nah, I'm out on that.
Oh, I think it would be great.
You want DC to just completely just crap their pants again?
What do you mean?
Her as Catwoman?
Yeah.
How is that? She's not Catwoman, Wes.
I don't. Why couldn't she be?
Catwoman.
Did we think Robert Pattinson is Batman?
That's.
I'm just saying. Sometimes you can be surprised.
Yeah, but I'll say I'll say this, that when Robert Pattinson got the role, there were people left and right telling me there is a character that there's like a I think it's on Netflix, some movie he was in that makes him believable as Bruce Wayne. Where is that with Aubrey Plaza as Catwoman?
Probably her role in Legion.
I don't think so. I think she played. What's she in Legion? You watch Legion, right? You don't, Wes, do you?
No.
She is a. Well, I don't want to ruin it for you because you haven't seen it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
If I tell you, it'll ruin it.
Spoiler alert for Legion. People who are watching Legion, go ahead.
She's a figment of the main character's imagination.
Okay, I already thought that.
So she's kind of insane, which she just gets to just be as nuts as she wants to.
Okay, this is exactly what I thought.
All right, I'll give you no Aubrey Plaza as Catwoman, but you have to grant me if when Zatanna makes her debut in the Warner Brothers movies, you have to grant me that that's going to be Olivia Munn.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Oh, I can live with that for sure.
Now, this was your secret touch crush, Zatanna. Is that right?
No, it was
that's Starfire.
No,
But Zatanna's up there, too.
Zatanna was one of the characters that I
That's
proposed.
who it was. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you saw her outfit.
Right. Yes.
So that's why he wants. Yes.
I see.
It's basically just Psylocke in a top hat. That's why
Which you know, if Olivia Munn was listening to this podcast, she would be pissed at you for saying that.
What?
For suggesting that you wanted to see her dressed up like that, because Olivia Munn doesn't appreciate that kind of stuff. I'm busting your balls.
But she has to understand when she listens to this podcast that that's the role that I play. I'm the dirty old man of this show.
Right.
Well, and she's also had some leaks.
I don't really feel that way in real life.
Her text messages and her conversations and photos with ex-boyfriend Aaron Rodgers. And they were very risque. Very risque.
I will say this, I'm a better actor than Aaron Rodgers.
I don't doubt that.
That much I know.
You can do the discount double check?
That much I know. I was actually the guy in that commercial.
Hey, Rodgers! Yeah, banging on the windows? Yeah.
Where was Rodgers, by the way, in the Game of Thrones stuff? I know we're going off the rails big time, but...
Oh, he was, I think he was killed in...
He wasn't the guy running. He went and said that wasn't what he was. The guy running in...
that got blown up. Like, he was in the city, but he was down there in the Red Keep when all the action was going on.
So.
That's what it was. Yeah. And then it was Rob McElhaney who got shot in the face by... he was one of... what's his name? Why am
Golden
I blanking
Company?
on? No. They're from the Iron Islands. The uncle.
Yeah, Greyjoy's guys.
Greyjoy, yeah. He was one of his henchmen.
Okay, why can't I think of Rob McElhaney's face? What is he in?
He's Mac from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
Ronald McDonald.
Sorry, yes. Who had his moment with Chase Utley and everything.
Yes.
So going on to the comic book minute. So there are a couple of firsts out this week, but real quick, before that, Deceased 3 is out. I have not had a chance to read it yet. I will. At some point, I got to catch up on a couple other things first. I'm way behind on a few things. I know that I have Deathstroke out this week, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman 3. Issue number 3.
Okay.
But then the first issues that are out this week, Image has... Space Bandits from Image is out this week. The first issue of that is a 5-issue miniseries. I don't know if that's something they're test running and they want to see how it takes off. Doom Patrol... Weight of the Worlds, that's from DC Comics. There's Superman Up in the Sky, which was part of Giant Superman, which I think was available at Walmart. Part of that was in there.
Okay.
I'm actually reviewing that this week, so I can't tell you guys how I feel about it. I've already read it. And then Lois Lane 1 is out this week.
It's a collector's item, huh?
So now, Tim, there's never been another Lois Lane story that you've heard of, right? Like another Lois Lane title.
No, I'm pretty sure she's had her own title before.
She has. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is just a different story, or
Just
maybe
a
there's never
new series and
yeah, they revamp stuff all the time. I don't know if this is just the first ever Lois Lane though. My question to you is, Wes, like I know like Saga is totally different than normal comics, but Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of when you hear there's a Lois Lane comic?
I would think that it's a reimagination of the character without knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
You know,
I don't know
maybe
about
she
it.
takes. I think from what we saw with Lois Lane, from Amy Adams' portrayal in The Man of Steel and BVS, you know, she's a real take no prisoners, take no shit type of person. Real kick-ass journalist. In my opinion.
She is for sure.
So I think maybe you kind of see her almost in like a detective role. Aiding out Superman or something like that, which I think would be really interesting. I think you need more, strong female, lead characters who aren't, scantily clad like Zatanna.
I don't read a ton of Superman, but when I do read Superman stuff, I've read a couple things recently. It's always Lois is kind of waiting and trying to figure out what's going on with Superman, and she's always just like left behind. And I know there are so many other powerful female characters out there, but with her, I think that's what it's going to be. Wes, is you see her and kind of how she's similar to Batman in a way, but her actual personality, her actual like real name is out there, so she's in danger and all this stuff. What's she gonna do when she's not falling from a building, like when she's metaphorically falling from a building and Superman can't
damsel
save
in
her?
distress.
Yes, but she's not gonna. She has to work her own way out of that. So I am curious how that goes. That'll be reviewed on Geeks Worldwide. I'm not reading it personally, but
I think I would read a Lois Lane comic if it was like Erica Durance's portrayal on Smallville. Where,
I didn't watch that show.
Like, she was kind of she was somebody that, she could fight her way through things.
Yeah.
She was kind of bumbling in a way that was endearing, but she also turned out to be like a hell of an investigative journalist and kind of, a true sidekick.
Yeah, see, I could see that. I could get down with that. And again, the same thing with the Amy Adams thing. I mean, I think you find her kind of figuring out the bullet and being there in the, I don't know, Middle East or Africa or wherever she is with that terrorist group.
I'm always curious to see how you think about like a comic story when you don't because you know the characters, but like you don't
without only seeing Lois Lane #1, nothing else kind of to frame it. That's kind of where my mind would go.
I have no idea what to expect with this either. I think that along these kind of lines. But yeah, so anyway, so that's the minute for this week. Make sure you guys go out and pick up something good to read because there's plenty out there right now.
Yeah, and
so what do you have for me to stay woke about this week, Wes?
Yeah, so this was something to keep an eye on at the end of the month. Obviously, we had a busy week last week with the first two debates of the Democratic 2020 presidential campaign. So I believe there's 20 presidential hopefuls there. And it was must-see TV over this 2-day event, which I believe was, Wednesday and Thursday down in Miami of last week. I'm sure most people are woke on this. This is, heating up, staging itself to be, the most important presidential election in history, although I think the one before that was and the one before that was. So each year it's always just going to be the most important presidential election of our time.
Always gets hyped like that.
But where we're at a real lull in the point of our sports world, and let's face it, in the entertainment world, there's not a whole lot going on. It's just
NBA
really
free
baseball.
agency.
Yeah, but you got a couple days, and then you got to watch Summer League, and then wait for training camp for football to come around, and then if
baseball.
You're a fan of the Boston Red Sox, then they're already not really shaping up to how you were hoping them to to play out this year.
There's
so
other
it
good
could
baseball
be depressing.
games. There are other baseball games.
Yeah,
to watch.
but if you want to invest
like
5
baseballs.
hours of your time, that's cool.
You just don't like baseball. That's what it is.
I like baseball. I just think it's a long game.
It is a long game, and it's if you like baseball, you accept that it's a long game. I don't get to watch it as much as I have in years past. Now.
I spend quite a lot of my days at the ball field.
Now you do because the Cape League's going on, right?
Well, yeah, but even in the high school, I have three baseball teams to cover. I have American Legion baseball.
Let's be fair though. Cape League's a lot more entertaining than high school and Legion. And Major Leagues I find
it's
a lot more entertaining.
It's different because it takes me a while to get to know the players. In some cases, I don't know the players in the Cape League because they're only up there for a certain period of time until the College World Series or Team USA kids come back. So you have like those templates, so it's tough to really get to know them. What I enjoy about the high school game is I know the players. And I have more of a familiarity, kind of like I do with like the pros. And you're kind of seeing the development. I don't watch college baseball that much.
I don't watch that much either.
So, outside of the All-Americans or, the names that I should know, there's a couple local kids, those are the kids that I kind of, watch a little bit more closely.
But I took you off the rails. You're talking about the presidential election that we're
Yeah, it was like I was saying, because we have a lack of sports events to watch. I think this is a great opportunity to kind of get your sports fix. You have, some people, you have 11 people on stage, and you can go over, everything they say, every and like, and then every time that they get cut off and they accept getting cut off, are they looking weak? And then every facial expression in response to some shade that another candidate's throwing at another. It's like fantastic television. You have some great personalities in there. You have Peter Bougele. Buttigieg?
Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. See, I actually put the phonetical spelling next to it, and I had boot in big capital letters, and then J-E-J, which I thought was J.
No, he has it on a huge wall in his campaign headquarters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Buttigieg.
Buttigieg. That's so weird. Anyway, he's the South Bend mayor in Indiana. There looks almost like a spitting image, like a bizarro world of Celtics head coach Brad Stevens.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Everybody looks the same in Indiana. You didn't know that?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a carbon copy.
Just to be clear for our listeners too, and so because I don't think you know this, Wes. I know nothing about what's going on with this.
Well, you should pay attention. This is the most important presidential debate of our time.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Till the next one.
I would say it is.
Till the next one.
Yeah, to date. To date.
You know the New Bedford connection with Pete Buttigieg.
I do not.
So when he took office, there was a scandal with his police chief, who was an African-American man, and so apparently he was recording phone conversations and setting up white cops to say racist things on the phone so he could get them. So he had to get rid of this police chief, and so he brought in former New Bedford police chief Ron Teachman as his new police chief, and he stayed there for a couple of years before he went on and took a job with the Shot Spotter company.
No kidding. Oh, good for him.
So, yeah, little connection there.
Anyways.
All right, I love that. So, but he's an interesting guy. So I'm kind of waiting for the moment where we get the Kyrie Irving town hall debate question of what does government mean to you. I feel like that would be an appropriate question for Buttigieg.
What a weirdo.
He's like 36 years old or 37, something like that.
Yeah, he's an Iraqi war veteran, or he was in some sort, overseas.
But he's millennial,
fighting a good fight.
He believes the Earth is flat.
Yeah, and he's a big farmer guy.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta throw shade.
Also gay. I don't know if you were aware of that.
Oh, is he?
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Openly gay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Married, has a husband.
Good for him.
What does the millennial thing have to do with the world is flat?
Because only millennials believe the world is flat.
I'm pretty sure that didn't.
People older than that are
Can you
smart
fly
and
from New
understand that
York
it's
to
not true.
Chile? Direct?
Listen, I've been in an airplane where I look down, the world looks straight.
Yeah, it's interesting. Other things we got going on here. We have Kamala Harris, who is a California senator, I believe. Really going at Joe Biden.
Oh.
Joe Biden, who appears to be just standing firm in his belief that he was friends with Barack Obama, and he wants to remind everybody that, hey, do you remember my buddy Barack Obama? Things were pretty good then, right? I feel like everything he was saying was just like, my buddy Barack Obama, when we were together, we did this and this and this.
Oh, so he's legit running for president. That's not like a joke.
Oh, no, yeah, he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the former vice president.
I had no idea.
Well, he's, in theory, he's, a good candidate. He has the experience, the White House experience.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're trying to throw him under the bus because he worked side by side with segregationist senators when he first started.
Right. So that's the recent hit.
Like that's his fault. Like he has to work with these guys. Like their belief system is
is
like
representative of what he is, and what he's about. But I think my favorite candidate so far, and this is not like I'm going to vote for him. This is just my favorite personality, is California. I'm not sure if he's a senator or House of Rep, but Eric Swalwell. He comes across as just a huge frat star to me, and just like a real surfer bro. And they have these really like tight up close views of people that comes, and just a close up of his face. He just looks very much like California surfer bro. Great head of hair. I'm not sure if he's presidential material. Unless we're talking about the Arizona State chapter.
He's only running for president.
Capital.
He's only running for president because Patrick Swayze's forcing him to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And they're gonna take over, and then they're just gonna make Halloween mask of his face, and then people can rob banks of it later on.
You know what the big moment of that entire debate, both of those debates was, right? The forever moment from those debates.
So was it the women's reproductive rights?
No. It's gonna be the Cory Booker face meme.
I thought you meant the one that like lasted the longest. Okay,
no,
I see what you're saying.
When Beto O'Rourke decided he was going to start talking Spanish out of nowhere, and Cory Booker just looks at him like, "What the hell is going on?" And like instant meme as soon as it happened. People are screenshotting their TV and making a meme
just to get it up there. That's great. So if you are like Nick and you missed the first two days of the debate, don't worry, you have another crack at this. You have to wait to the end of July on the 30th and the 31st when they'll be in Detroit, which I'm sure they'll be talking about the Flint water crisis going on to some degree. That will be hosted by CNN. So, Nick, I urge you to, put down the Celtics and the Thunder Wire news for a day.
Yeah, okay.
And just get informed on what's going on in the world.
Yeah, I think I will.
Because your vote matters.
Okay.
And if you don't pay attention, maybe you shouldn't vote.
Right.
Yes, that's
how we ended up where we are now.
That's usually how I feel about it. If I don't pay attention, then I'm probably better off not voting. Or I'll talk to people who I trust with their opinions and know that they're unbiased in the course of it all. Because I do know some people who are unbiased.
I also believe that's tough, though. You should be voting not on what other people are telling you. It should be based off of your information.
When I say that, I mean they're not telling me vote for this guy. They tell me this is what he stands for, this is what she stands for, and then I go based off that.
But you don't know everything. They probably have 10%. Like the average person probably has 10% of the real information of what each person stands for and what they are for or against.
So then if I go,
so you're getting a third hand, and now
Listen,
you're like
according
at
to Facebook.
1%.
Let me tell you what Donald Trump said. According to Facebook, like that's the kind of information you get from people.
Yeah, you just got to be careful about it. So that's why, especially in these times where everybody seems to be, very much on the political spectrum one way or the other. I find it hard, even trusting news sources to give you unbiased news.
Oh,
that's why I find these debates to be so important, because then you can make your,
seriously, it's seriously with politics especially. It should be you have your commentators and you have your reporters. You can't honestly with news. You shouldn't be both. I'm sorry,
and they're not. The problem is, listen, hold on.
Yeah. Sports, I can give a damn.
The problem is the people that are consuming the information aren't smart enough to tell the difference. It's not that they're not trying to disguise commentary as news. It's just people are too stupid to know the difference. That when you tune into Don Lemon on CNN, you think you're watching a news program.
No, that's
you're
true.
the moron.
This is true. I think I wrote a Kemba Walker story the other day when it all kind of became like when Woj was like he's a Celtic, and I wrote an opinion piece, and people were like commenting on it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, like random people. Oh, this is just an opinion piece. Blah blah blah. It's not like, well, yeah, it's an opinion piece.
That's why on the WBSM website, if it's an opinion piece that's written by one of our hosts, we clearly mark it in the headline, opinion.
Right.
Because we have to, because people can't tell the difference anymore.
Yeah.
But you can't tell the difference. It's not because we're trying to sneak that opinion in. It's because you just don't know how to read context clues.
Did you have any other big takeaways from the Democratic debates?
I did not get to watch them because I was still waking up at 3:30 in the morning.
Well, I figured you would have to consume them in some way, shape, or form.
They are in my DVR, and I probably won't watch them because I've seen so many highlights from them now.
Yeah.
I think that the unfair part was that there was a lot of candidates that were running that didn't get the chance to be part of it, like Seth Moulton, Massachusetts guy who's running. But obviously when you've got that many people, you can only get so much time.
It's kind of crazy, right?
And Biden dominated, from what I understand, 13 minutes compared to what other people had.
And it was funny, too, and I'm not sure if this was a perceived thing or not, but it seemed like a lot of the women candidates got cut off early. And that seemed to be the consensus from other people that I was reading, on Twitter and things like that. They kind of got that vibe, too. They seemed quick to kind of cut off the women candidates, outside of maybe Kamala Harris, who I think also was a big winner from the debate.
Can AOC run yet?
No,
I don't think she's of
enough.
age.
She's the only one that should be being brought up on the show because she has a comic written about her.
Does she?
Yeah, some college kids did it.
Doesn't Hillary Clinton have comics written about her?
I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it's just either way.
I'm sure Barack Obama,
Psylocke, Zatanna, AOC.
Okay.
She's BU girl.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her.
You have to, pick up their trading cards and kind of check out the back and read their stats here.
Yeah, I didn't get her McFarlane action figure yet.
Not yet. I'm sure the Funko Pop's on the way, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, you ready? You ready for the first annual fictional basketball player draft here?
Yes, I am. Where's my list? Sorry, the Isaiah Thomas news broke, so I had to make sure it's.
Where's Isaiah Thomas going?
1-year deal with the Wizards, so I would assume it's going to be for the veterans minimum.
God, that's tough.
That's so awesome. His new nickname is Orko.
I don't get it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to fill us in on that one.
Oh man, you guys don't know He-Man?
No, I don't know. No,
The
I
little-
refuse to acknowledge that he exists. He-Man.
the
It's the
little-
worst nickname.
It really is the worst name.
Character name ever.
But the little tiny wizard guy that hangs out with, he's like a small tiny wizard. His name is Orko.
Oh,
So that's
I get it.
Isaiah Thomas, small, tiny
that's
wizard.
Fair.
Oh wow.
I think it was just
You're
after
terrible.
my time. I remember playing with my brother's He-Man toy sets.
Yeah, I remember seeing the He-Man cartoons as a kid, like pop up and like.
Yeah.
Castle
not
Grayskull
watching
and
this.
Snake Mountain were two of the most badass playsets.
I had Castle Grayskull.
in
That's
toy
what
history.
it was. Yeah.
See, if you had Skeletor's playset, Snake Mountain, it had a little panther head you pulled out, and it was a microphone that you could talk into, and it made your voice sound deep and
Oh,
evil.
that's kind of awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Oh, I
But
like
the
that
best
a lot.
playset for my money in the 80s, besides those G.I. Joe ones that cost like $100, the Thundercats Cat's Lair,
Oh,
which
no,
was a
I-
giant, like, Egyptian-looking cat-type statue.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look through its eyes, it played a video game.
Oh my God.
Like one of those Tiger handheld electronics
Yeah,
things
yeah.
inside the eyes of the playset.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's got to do a number on your eyes, though.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think of wearing glasses.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fair enough.
So for those who haven't listened, who are new to the show, or maybe you just haven't listened to the baseball draft episode
Yeah.
that we did because you don't like baseball or whatever, we drafted fictional characters from solely the big screen when we did it before, right?
I believe so.
So solely the big screen
But
baseball.
there's not as much basketball movies as there are
Right.
fictional basketball movies as there are fictional baseball movies.
And I feel like I've seen, and they're not generally not as big of a deal, I guess I would say. And I definitely haven't seen as many personally. So, like, at least in terms of percentages. But my one thing is the first basketball movie that I think of when the topic gets brought up is Space Jam.
yes.
My number one for sure.
Sure.
Probably that, then Coach Carter. Well, when I looked at the list that you had drawn together, I'm pretty sure. First of all, I don't think I saw Michael Jordan on there, which I actually.
Well, no,
like.
okay. So here's my stipulation: like, you can't draft real players who are playing themselves.
Good point.
Okay.
Because otherwise you've got Larry Bird and Blue Chips.
Right.
I like
You
the way
know.
you twisted that. That's good. I like that. That makes a ton of sense.
Yes. Yeah.
But the other thing is, where are the Looney Tunes characters?
I was expecting you to go with Space Jam. So I wanted to make sure, and those are easy enough for me to recall where I don't need to write them down.
Oh.
So if I wanted to go with one of them, that was it. But I
Okay.
figured I wanted to have a little bit more well-roundedness to my team than just having Space Jam characters.
Okay. You definitely do. You definitely do.
No, I do. I think I have one character from Space Jam.
You do, but it wasn't any of the Looney Tunes characters.
No.
Yeah, so I was a little thrown off by that. Okay, so all right, good to know. I was very confused by that decision. Okay, so other than that, I don't think I had another question. Tim? What did you say that Wes was going to say when I asked him about the Looney Tunes characters? You say it was.
So this was it. I figured it out halfway through. I think once the show started, I was like, "This is the question."
Yeah. I tried to give you a hint a little bit.
We thought that you would say that it was too on the nose
It could have been a little on the nose.
for knowing Nick and his affinity for that movie.
Right. Well, I figured he would go heavy on Space Jam, so I figured I'd fill out the rest.
Smart man.
Yes.
Okay, so now you're the one that does the immense amount of preparation for the show.
Well, that's generous, but yeah.
You do well.
Okay,
I
I'll take it.
I take care of the video afterwards.
Yes.
You do that. So I mean, it's a happy marriage, and I do the board stuff.
It's a beautiful thing. You
It
wash,
is.
I put away.
Exactly. So my question to you is: did you check on? And I didn't ask you. Did you check on who drafted first last time between the two of us?
I did not.
Okay.
I did not.
So I want to say that I drafted first and I took Roy Hobbs. I think that's what happened.
I think that's right, actually, now that you mention it.
Okay, so then I will give you the choice.
Okay.
Do you want first pick or do you want second and third?
I want first pick.
Okay, so damn it. Okay, I've had a feeling you were
I
going to.
think I know where he's going with this then.
Okay, so Wes, who are you taking?
Yeah, this is a no-brainer in my mind. He is a high school phenom, has his choice of many different colleges to go from. He was named after Black Jesus, Earl Monroe. In the Spike Lee film, He Got Game, Jesus Shuttlesworth.
That's what I figured.
All-around game, high velocity or high volume shooter, can stroke it from outside, obviously played by Ray Allen. He's got a smooth stroke. It's poetry in motion when he's playing for the Lincoln Rail Splitters. Real team out in Brooklyn. Actually, I believe a couple guys from there, Sebastian Telfair for one, and the other guy is, why am I blanking? Lance Stevenson. Both played on the Lincoln Rail Splitters.
Really?
Yes.
Did not know that.
So Jesus Shuttlesworth, fantastic game. He definitely has his way around with the ladies. If you've seen that movie, I think it was a callback to last week's episode. Rick Fox definitely takes care of him. Choosing between Ball State. I think he ends up going to Ball State or Big State. Big State. That's what it is.
Big State. I hate saying this. I've never seen that.
It's a great movie. You should see it.
There's, like I said, there's I have not seen as many basketball movies as I would have thought when I was going through everything. So I have second and third pick. So I'm gonna go with a big man and a little guy pairing.
Nice.
I think that for first pick, I'm gonna go with someone who. See, the problem is I know how you think when it comes to your shows, because I know when we tried to figure out each other's influential shows, I was like 4 for 5 or 3 for 5. I didn't.
Yeah, you went pretty. You got pretty good at it.
But when it comes to this, I don't know what you value, and I struggle with that in baseball. I should have taken Roy Hobbs later. I should have gotten Benny the Jet first. Although I got you on Matthew McConaughey's character.
That's true.
I can't think of who you would go with next, so I'm gonna go with for my first pick. I'm gonna go with Lil Bow Wow's character.
Wow.
From Like Mike, and his character's name
Calvin Cambridge.
Calvin Cambridge. Obviously, he has the abilities of Michael Jordan.
He's got his sneakers.
Can't exactly. Well, he has his abilities.
Yeah.
From the sneakers. Doesn't matter how he gets them, and he can throw down. He dominates when he gets in the league. So you got a kid who can play like Mike, who can shoot like Mike. I'm taking that all day.
Now the downside is his size.
Of course,
he is little Bow Wow after all.
He is little Bow Wow, but he has Michael Jordan's abilities.
Yes, yeah, it's true.
Full-grown Michael Jordan's abilities.
I know, which is crazy to think, right? Because imagine being like 4'12" or whatever, however, just being able to throw down.
That would rattle me.
4'12" for the record is 5 feet. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I can get behind that. Then I'm gonna go with I was saying how I want to pick a character from Looney Tunes, and I'm just having trouble figuring out which character is which. But I'm going to go with some size. I want the orange. Actually, no. I want the purple Monstar. And I can't figure. Is
that Sean Bradley?
No, that's Blanco. I know that one. That's the blue one. That's I think it's Larry Johnson's character. Who
purple?
Yeah, I think Monstar. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. I know it's the purple one, but either way, I'm pretty sure that's Larry Johnson's character. But anyways, he could throw down. He was the most. He was the most jacked out of all of them. Obviously, Larry Johnson's a friggin' beast. There's the other characters to pick from are Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing. I could be wrong though about
Muggsy Bogues,
the Larry Johnson, but I'm taking the purple Monstar character. I will try and figure that out in the course of your next one.
That might be Charles Barkley.
No, I'm pretty sure Pound, the orange one, is Charles Barkley. Okay, because he's like a little bit heavier set of the three big guys.
I see where we're going there.
And Charles Barkley's kind of fat.
Yeah.
Round mound to rebound.
Sure. So I got you there.
It's either Johnson or Ewing. I'm going to figure that out in a minute. That's on me. But those are my first two guys that I'm going with. Who you got next, Wes? You have 4 and 5, I want to say.
Yeah, for doing the snake draft here.
Yes,
okay.
We're picking 6 characters, by the way, so everybody knows. And
I think we can go to 7. We'll go 2 bench guys. How does that sound?
I can go with that. I can live with that.
Okay, so you get like 1 reserve forward, 1 reserve guard sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Now, as I've mentioned to you in the many times that we've hung out and played pickup hoops or so, love positionless basketball. I want wings who can switch on the screens, who can get to the rack, can maybe hang a nice Hezzy J in someone's face. Mm-hmm. This leads me to one of the blue chip prospects from the movie Blue Chips. Give me Butch McRae, Penny Hardaway, Anthony Petty Hardaway. And then maybe I get Little Penny there as like a sidekick, kind of coming along from the Sprite commercials.
Package deal.
But between Butch McRae and Jesus Shuttlesworth, again, interchangeable pieces, very tough to guard. I got length, I got skill, I got athleticism. I'm really liking how this team's shaping out so far.
Okay. By the way, I was right. It's Bupkis. I have Larry Johnson's character.
Okay.
So I have Calvin. What's his face? I said Calvin Coolidge, Calvin Cambridge, and Larry Johnson. I'm sorry, you picked 2 there, right? You took the package.
So I got Butch McRae right now, and I got my second pick here.
Okay.
All right, so I need.
Oh, you do have Air Bud on here. I didn't see him in the early scrolling. Okay.
I should get a big man. Again, I kind of like the positionless basketball sort of thing. I think I can go a little high on this. This is a tough spot for me. Okay, I'm hemming and hawing over here. Give me Scott Howard, played by Michael J. Fox.
Wow.
In the 80s era classic Teen Wolf. So I need someone to run the point for me.
I was going to say, he was a guard. You said he was going for a big
I was
man,
going to go, I know, but I feel like I can get some more value later in the forward position. I have a feeling I could take Scott Howard at any point in time because I had a feeling Nick wouldn't have known that one.
No.
Yep.
Now you get to have the caveat. Does he have to be the wolf the whole time?
I think only in crunch time. I was watching some clips on him, and he is a little feisty defender as Michael J. Fox. He's a little undersized, but you get that anger in him, you get those eyes that go red, and then he can just go off. That's the crunch time that I need out of Scott Howard.
You know what I just remembered?
Now the other guy, who was the other guy who was in Teen Wolf 2?
Jason Bateman.
Was it Jason Bateman?
Yeah, but that wasn't a basketball. They were swimmers.
Okay, all right.
I just thought of one of the worst.
Or wrestlers, maybe. I don't know. It wasn't basketball.
Do you remember the Sorry, I wasn't ignoring you, but do you remember the Disney Channel original movie?
Luck of the Irish?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
I forgot about that one.
It's not better than what's the rollerblading movie?
I don't remember.
Oh, why am I blanking on this? Brink, with Andy Brinker, Team Pup and Suds. That's arguably the best Disney movie out there.
It's not ringing any
Team
bells
Pup and
for
Suds.
me. Okay, so I have the next two picks. Let's see. I know that. Let's see. So I have a small guy and I have a big guy right now. So I need some wings, for sure. There's Will Smith's character from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I know he was good, but I'm going to pass on that. I know you have Bill Murray written down from Space Jam, which is an interesting one for sure.
Well, you need a bench mob.
You know who? What the hell is going on? I'm trying to type in Coach Carter characters, and I just can't type in Carter on my computer.
Oh yeah, I know. I left some Coach Carter characters off. It was very heavy on Blue Chips. I think I have 4 guys from Blue Chips.
Okay, so this guy, you might be able to list him as you did. You had a lot of Blue Chip characters.
It's arguably the best basketball movie out there.
Love and Basketball, isn't that supposed to be the best one out there?
Well, no. that sounds like a very you answer, to be honest. Love and Basketball.
I'm sorry. It's a little on the nose by me, I guess.
It's on the nose.
I'm gonna go with Ty Crane, who was the main antagonist, I guess, on the basketball court. On the other side of the court, you could say he was a bit more of a forward, but I think when he goes to college, he translates more into a wing. I think he was somewhere around 6'5". He can play above the rim for
Coach
a high school
Carter?
kid. Yes, he's not on Coach Carter's team. He's on the rival school team that Coach Carter's son originally played for, not Richmond's High. Rich what? So yes, so I got Ty Crane. So that's gonna. So I have a wing. I'm looking all right now.
So yeah, you got your point guard. You got your 3 main positions filled out. Now you just got to find some complementary pieces.
I got my 1, my 5, and my 4 right now. I would say. I don't want to go back to back Coach Carter kids. I think I'm gonna take. So I saw him listed under forwards here. So Sidney Dean in your that's as he Snipes. Okay.
Yeah, I had him more like a small forward.
So he's more of a wing then.
Yeah, but he can rebound too. I found him as in the front court type of guy.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with Woody Harrelson.
You could probably have him as a wing. I mean, you can play him whenever you want.
Positionless basketball. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Al Horford's a point forward. I'm gonna go with Billy Hoyle from White Man Can't Jump. Obviously played by Woody Harrelson. The The whole movie's about how this guy can play against anybody. He's got skills like he's big time chemistry dude. If you he knows what you're doing, you're gonna be able to make it work. He can definitely dummy people into thinking that he sucks. I'm assuming most of these characters haven't seen his movie, haven't seen his skills, so he can make them feel like, oh yeah, we got the upper hand on this guy, and then boom, he's throwing up alley oops to Calvin Cambridge. Boom, he's throwing up alley oops to Bupkis, whatever the hell his name is.
But he can't dunk though.
That's okay. I don't need all my guys to dunk.
Okay, well you got Grandmama on your team. Yeah, they could work. But it's kind of small with Calvin Cambridge and Billy Hoyle.
It's fine. I mean,
Okay.
look, I got one guy who's smart, and dude, Cambridge may be small, but you're worried about him people shooting over him. He gets up. He can block shots. He'll be fine. I'm covered, and plus I got the biggest guy on the floor. No one is coming, down low on Larry Johnson's character. What is his name again? It's you wrote it down for me. The Purple Monster.
Yeah, I didn't have the name.
Bumpkiss.
Okay, so
They just call him Larry Johnson.
now I definitely need a big man.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm running a little thin. I need someone to go up against Buttkiss here.
I gotta get the name.
Grandmama.
Is that who you call?
Well, yeah, Larry Johnson. Yeah.
Oh, is that his nickname?
Well, he was in for his I think it was Reeboks. It was the Reebok pumps.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, some commercial where
You never saw the Grandmama commercial? He dressed up as an old lady?
I think I was a little too young for that, and his name is Bupkiss.
Buttkiss. Okay. Bup.
Yes.
Bupkiss. Of course. How could I forget?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I wrote it down for you.
Now, okay, so I got two picks. So I have two wings. I got my Jason Tatum and I got my Jaylen Brown. Okay, I got my ball distributor, my point guard, my feisty defender, and Scott Howard. Now I want to stretch four. I want to stretch out the floor a little bit. I want someone who is maybe a little bit unassuming. Maybe the defender is going to slag off of him because you see him, and you say, maybe I don't think he's going to. I don't respect his game. I don't respect his shot. He also has got a great name. Give me Uncle Wes, played by Kevin Love from the Uncle Drew
Good pick.
movie. Pepsi commercial. I'm not sure if he was in the movie, but he was in the commercials. Mm-hmm. So now I got someone who can stretch the floor, light it up from three. He can throw down a little bit too. He's got a good back down game. He's a little bit old, but looks can be deceiving.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick.
And as Bill Russell said, this game has always been about one thing and one thing only. That's buckets.
Buckets.
Get buckets.
Can you do it in a voice, in the actual voice?
No. I'm not going down that road.
Right.
Buckets.
If we're doing any sort of reenactment, I would have to demand to do blackface if that was the case.
Jesus Wes.
But I wouldn't do that though. But if I were to do anything, that was probably what I would choose to do.
Could listen to that voice say anything about basketball.
Buckets.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, man's got a legendary voice. So you got one more pick though before he flips over to me.
Yes. So now I need a traditional rim runner, rim protector. Give me Soleil, played by Charles Jitonga Maina from The Air Up There. Of course, the Kevin Bacon flick, which I think is kind of molded out of Manute Ball, Dikembe Mutombo type. Very tall, from Africa. Center who knows the game but doesn't really know the game, and it takes Kevin Bacon's character to learn some lessons to convince him to come over and play college ball. He finds out a little bit about himself along the way too.
So you have
tall, lanky.
You did not take
rim protector.
You took McRae, but you didn't take Bedreau, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, so you've made your pick, right?
I have.
So I can go.
Yes.
So I'm taking Bedreau. Anytime you can get Shaq Diesel, and especially get him this late, I understand he's playing a character.
Right.
But
it plays a heck of a character, though. He's a difference maker.
Shaq can bang, man. I mean, he's one of the. If he's not the best center of all time, then it's Hakeem Olajuwon, or it's it.
But there's questions about Neon Boudreau's IQ level.
No, there isn't.
No, that's right, because he's very smart.
Those tests are culturally biased.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a good point. But they play that off at the beginning, though, right?
So
it turns out that he's not.
Right.
So I got him, and then I got Larry Johnson's character back when Larry Johnson was a force. Obviously, again, Bupkis. So those are the guys I have down the pin. I got some bangers. I could flip flop them if I want. I could go with both of them down low. You're saying how size is a bit of an issue for me. Yeah, not so much. I mean,
not so much right now.
No, I mean definitely not at the rim. So if you're gonna beat me off the three ball, I know you got Jesus, but I mean, I'm feeling pretty damn good about my bunch right now at this point. And Ty Crane is my athlete. He's my bona fide wing, my 3. He's gonna fly around the floor, and he can guard whoever I need him to.
Okay.
And I know he's a high school kid, but I have ultimate faith in him.
Okay, so you got one more pick here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Now you're under reserves, right?
Sorry.
You have 1.
Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you were
2, 3, 4. No, yeah. So this is your last starter here.
It is my last. No, I have Cambridge. I have.
Oh, I didn't put him down. Okay.
No, yeah, you didn't put Boudreaux down. Okay, you can just put Shaq. It's okay. So I think my next logical pick. I don't really think it's up for debate at this point. I got to go with Bugs Bunny. There's just no two ways about it. I mean, Bugs Bunny doesn't lose. It's the whole thing. I mean, I don't care if he's fighting Superman, Batman, or Thanos. He's not losing in any of those battles because it's Bugs Bunny. He always wins. So I think, in theory, the draft's over. What, Tim? Right? Because if I have him, then I win. Right?
No, that's a stretch.
No, it's not a stretch.
You know, it's
fact.
certainly an argument that could be made.
I just made the
You
argument.
give me Bugs Bunny and Jesus Shuttlesworth in a game of horse, I'm picking Jesus all day.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, that's true.
No, you're picking Bugs Bunny over everybody every time. It doesn't matter if it's if he's fighting Superman or Thanos.
I'm a
Or if he's
fan.
shooting against-
I don't think he's as I don't think he's as unbeatable as you do.
How many characters or how many characters, people do you know can use drink water like Bugs Bunny did and then grow into this hulking monster in a matter of an instant?
That's just the way that they draw him.
Now
you're going to take that away from him?
where is this game being played?
It's the way they wrote
which I
Jesus
think-
Shuttlesworth that he was that good.
Yeah, but he's played by a guy who really is that good too.
He's very good, but I mean, you don't think Jesus Shuttlesworth is a little bit better than Ray Allen was?
And it's also worth noting that Wesley Snipes is a horrible athlete.
Oh,
In every athletic movie that he has.
yeah.
Oh, but you got you didn't take him, right? You took Woody Harrelson.
I did.
Yes. Okay.
Still, it's okay. So I'm going to throw this one out there just so you know, Wes. I'm definitely not taking him, but I think Tim will be upset if no one takes Foghorn Leghorn. So just might want to think about that before you make your next pick.
No,
That's an
I
in-joke.
want a clutch shooter, someone who can hit the big shot, someone who knows the fundamentals. Excuse me, not the fundamentals. Mm-hmm. Someone who could take some coaching, so maybe some hard coaching.
Okay.
You know, and just maybe like a Klay Thompson type shooter. Just bounce, swish, bounce, swish, bounce, swish. Give me Jimmy Chitwood.
That's where I thought you were going.
Played by Maris Valanis, which I don't think he's ever played in another movie after that. From, of course, the classic Hoosiers. Mm. So now I got someone instant offense, microwave type player coming off the bench.
It's a good pick.
I'm surprised he went this late.
Right, I thought he'd be a starter.
Yeah, so I think he could be, but I want it to play today's NBA style of game.
That's why
my big question about him is his frame and his size, and will he be able to hold up? Obviously, he's a high school player.
Yeah, you can't bang around with some of the Knicks guys.
No, not with Bumpus. But I'd like him against Calvin Cambridge. I'm not going to get that name right. We're going to go. I'm going to say it a different way every time.
I don't want you to. If I'm being honest, it's funny. It's funnier that way. So you have 6 guys. You have your 7th pick, and then I have my 7th pick.
Okay, so my last one.
I'm going to get the guy I wanted 7 too. I am so happy.
This is we have plenty. We'll have plenty of honorable mentions to point out here too.
Yes.
So I want to reserve forward. We all know this guy in the pickup courts and the YMCA. He's a real glue guy. You need him sometimes. Give me the shirtless fat guy from Along Came Polly.
Oh, okay.
The defensive rating alone with the hair and the sweat, no one's going to want to get down on him in the post. You put the arms up, who knows what smell is emanating from those pits? It's like an invisible force field around
Right, you're
him.
playing dirty.
Yes, and hopefully they're all germaphobes, much like Ben Stiller's character is.
It's the Wesley Sykes brand of basketball. Right
That's
there.
it. That's what I'm all about there. Back to the basket.
Slippery bastard.
Ground and bone. Ground and pound. Not ground and bone.
Okay. Now,
I guess you could. I guess that's depending on the time of day.
Definitely. Oh, so I thought about this afterwards. I didn't end up taking Yosemite Sam or Elmer Fudd, who were using guns on the basketball court in Space Jam, which I could have taken them. They might have been a little bit more value than Bugs, although, again, Bugs doesn't lose.
That's kind of problematic, though.
Yeah, but in some ways, yes, but in some ways, it's more of a problem for you, not for me. Then there was Woody Harrelson's character in semi-pro. Of course, there's Jackie Moon as well.
Right.
Monix.
Yes, Monix. That's it. Thank you.
Coffee Black was
and
the
Monix?
name that I put down for semi-pro.
And that is who I am going to take with my final pick. I'm going to take Coffee Black.
Okay.
What were you going to say, Tim?
Withers.
Withers is Clarence Withers.
Yeah.
That's right. That is such a. I feel like such an underrated Will Ferrell movie.
It really is. Yeah.
It really gets lost. And you know what? I think at Olympia they sell Jackie Moon jerseys.
They
too.
do. They have a whole bunch now. You can also get like the Forrest Gump, football jerseys.
Happy
And
Gilmore.
I think you can get the Rick Vaughn Indian shirt or jersey.
Yep. I think Not Your Average Joe shirts.
Yeah.
I think I said Happy Gilmore, and then there's Bobby Boucher. I think you can get his too.
I've also seen that you can buy the Bel Air Academy.
Yep.
Will Smith or Carlton jerseys, Carlton Banks,
They have a
which I would
Carlton?
want the Carlton Banks one. I've seen that on Instagram. That comes up on like my personalized ads and everything.
I've always wanted a Polk
gets
High
me.
number 33 jersey.
Oh yeah, yep. Now
for
Friday Night Lights.
No, Al Bundy.
Yeah.
Oh,
4 touchdowns in a single game.
Of course.
he's got 2 Al Bundy pops.
Yeah.
The only ones I have are Married with Children ones.
Yeah, the other one's
You want to stay on brand.
what's her name?
Peg. Bundy.
Peg Bundy from and
Yes.
she's also in Sons of Anarchy. The
Oh yeah, that's
the mom.
right.
Yes, Jax's mom, and I'm drawing a blank on her name right now, and it's Gemma, the amazing character. Straw that stirs a drink.
So Nick, before we name our teams, actually, I'm going to throw this over to Tim. Did we have any glaring misses? Any honorable mentions?
I would have thought for the bench somebody would have picked Lewis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would have thought he at least warranted a bench spot.
Okay. Celtics Pride, you're referring to.
Right.
Yeah. Fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really
Had him on the list.
What about Kyle? What's Kyle's last name from South Park?
Bratlovsky.
Bratlovsky. I haven't watched the show in a while. When he gets the surgery, so he can.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's an option there as well.
Gets Garrison's testicles put into his
into his
knees
kneecaps.
so he can
Yeah.
be taller. Yeah.
I mean, Mick was a pretty good player in Teen Wolf on the other team,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I don't know if he's like worthwhile compared to some of these other guys.
So some names that I had from the guard position that were left off. Let's see here. Jim Carroll, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, pre-heroin in the Basketball Diaries.
Oh, that's right. That was the drug one. Oh, that's right.
I saw that in school, like psychology class, like 6th or 7th grade.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
real guy.
Yeah.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, that's one of those disturbing ones. Like,
of Requiem for a Dream.
yes,
Yeah.
or like Kids, as we've mentioned before. Booger Sykes, played by Hill Harper. Love that guy. Obviously, I want his jersey. He got game, played the point guard there. Odin James, played Mekhi Phifer. With, who was in that movie? It was Andrew K. Keegan from, I think he was in Step by Step. He was also in 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean.
Julia Stiles was in that movie as well. He's the real pretty boy, yeah.
Yes. Okay, gotcha. Sorry.
So Odin James, great player. Actually, usurped the coach's son as being his almost like a son to him. Got very upset. Of course, that was Andrew Keegan Key's role in this. And then it wasn't him. It was Josh Hartnett, I think. Yeah, Josh Hartnett was in that movie as well. I'm a little all over the place.
That's okay. I can't really rein you in because
Of course, honorable mention Air Bud, golden retriever. I thought he had a great shot. He's got 4 legs. He's really low to the ground. Tough to contain. Something to keep in mind. Uncle Drew was another one.
Yep.
But given how recent events unfolded, I decided to leave him off.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Carter, purely based off his hit single, That's How I Beat Shaq. If he could beat Shaq, he could play on my team. In fact, that probably would have been the perfect equalizer to neutralize your Neon Boudreaux.
Yeah, might have been.
In hindsight, that's a big oversight.
Yep.
You got any other?
Well, I'm just pulling up. Grantland had this is from way back, I think. They have a list of characters, and I'm just trying to see if there's anybody that you did not have, but they're listed. In perfect Grantland form, it's way too long for me.
Right.
I think that let's see. You said Shep. You said we have Jesus. We have Scott Howard. Dream Fletch, which I think is from Fletch.
Yes, it is.
Yes, he plays for the Lakers.
I don't recall that Dream.
Yeah, he's there's a whole thing where he plays for the Lakers. That's where it comes from.
Okay.
You had Dwayne Martin and Tupac Shakur, and Above the Rim.
You said Air Bud, right?
He did. Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's the characters from Coach Carter. I mean, that I looked at Junior Battle, Jason Lyle. That's the latter being Channing Tatum's character. Yeah, I don't really have anything else. I don't have anybody else.
Will Smith was a good choice. Obviously, Ricky Rowe.
Yep.
From Blue Chips as well. Kind of he was kind of your Larry Bird type player. Mance Little, played by, what's his name? Tommy Heinsohn's favorite player. You want to take a guess of who Tommy Heinsohn's favorite Boston Celtic is?
If I had to guess, would it be Walter McCarty?
Yes. Yes, it absolutely was.
People forget this. Before he was all about the I love Walter, he used to do that about other players.
Oh, really?
Oh, because I distinctly remember, I love Chris Corciani. Okay. Nobody remembers Chris Corciani, right. But Tommy loved that guy.
I feel like Walter McCarty started the Tommy Point.
Yes, he did.
Like
yes.
that, and that was like because like he was like the all-time winner of the Tommy Point Award or whatever.
Yes. But yeah, the whole I love Walter thing, it used to be he had a variety of players that he would say it for.
Yep.
But then it became solely a Walter McCarty thing.
Let's see. I had Bill Murray from Space Jam, Kenny Tyler from The Sixth Man, good six-man option. Marlon Wayans. I also had DeMarcus Tillman, who played by Melvin Gregg in American Vandal Season 2. He was the consensus all number one high school player in that show. Again, athletic, maybe a stretch four, athletic, rim running big. Kind of do it all. A little lanky. Good frame, though. Could put on some size.
Okay. You're the one that has them all, Wes. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just throwing it up there. I wish on a draft that someone came more prepared other than just mailing it in.
I don't, Wes. I don't know as many basketball movies. I told you that before.
Trivia question: worst basketball player in any movie ever?
I don't know.
Ooh.
I like the whole no stop. I've literally seen like 4 basketball movies. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, you could have done a little research though.
I did, Wes.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, we had a whole week to do it.
This wasn't a basketball movie though, and you probably haven't seen it. It's an '80s comedy.
Okay.
Hoops McCann.
Oh no.
Played by John Cusack.
Oh.
In One Crazy Summer.
John Cusack doesn't strike me as athletic.
His name was Hoops McCann. That was his nickname.
That's a great nickname.
He was terrible at basketball.
Okay.
Like they named him that thinking that he was going to be good at basketball, and he was the worst. Like he'd throw the ball like a baseball, and then they like whack it off the backboard. And
what was he doing to the backboard?
Whack.
What do you want me to do? Whack a guy off a guy? Whack off a guy?
If you've never seen that movie, I recommend it. It was filmed on the Cape.
Oh, really?
Actually, so it takes place on I believe Nantucket. But it was actually it was filmed in Orleans.
Oh,
so you can still go by. They have the garage from that movie is still standing.
I like that. Okay, all right. So give me your team, Nick, Mister. I don't watch basketball.
My team is
He's very upset right now.
Calvin Cambridge, Bupkis, who was the Purple Monstar with Larry Johnson, with Larry Johnson's powers or abilities, I guess. Ty Crane, who is on the rival team in Coach Carter. He's the best player on that team, which is the private school team, I believe we'll call, for lack of a better explanation. Billy Hoyle, which is Woody Harrelson's character in White Man Can't Jump. And then Neon Boudreaux, which is Shaq's character from Blue Chips. And my bench guys are Bugs Bunny, needs no further explanation, and Coffee Black, which is Andre 3000's character in Semi-Pro, and I'm drawing a blank on his actual name. Tim, you had it before?
Clarence Withers.
Thank you.
Oh, that was his real name in the movie.
That's his real name in the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what Andre. I have no idea what Andre 3000's real name is.
Andre Benjamin.
Yes.
Is it? Okay. Mm-hmm. There you go. I obviously have Outcast fan.
Yeah. So Team West here, which I think will take the cake. I got Jesus Shuttlesworth 1-1 overall. He got game, of course. Ray Allen, all that good stuff. Interchangeable wings with Butch McRae, played by Penny Hardaway from Blue Chips.
That's a killer.
That's a 1-2 combination that's really tough. Running the point is Scott Howard, a.k.a. Teen Wolf, played by Michael J. Fox. We got Uncle Wes, who can stretch it out from the stretch 4%, stretch 4 position. Unassuming big man. Then we have Soleil from the air up there. A little rim protector, shot blocker. Maybe I think he'll get eaten up by Neon Boudreaux, to be honest with you. But
the actor's name is Soleil as well.
No, it's Charles Jitongia Mania.
Okay.
Mana.
Okay.
Mina. I don't know. But that's his name right there.
Okay.
And then I got my reserves. I got Jimmy Chitwood coming off the bench, a regular J.J. Redick type. Then I got the shirtless fat guy from Along Came Polly.
J.J. Redick type from the 1970s?
Well, yeah. He was...
Is that when Hoosiers came out? Was the 70s?
Well, it came out in the 80s, but it takes place in the 50s,
In the
doesn't
50s,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's J.J. Redick's father.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That's...
Grandfather.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Yeah, I just forgot. I know we couldn't... I just realized we couldn't take him as well, but Pistol Pete's character there's like a Pistol Pete movie. Like my brother loved Pete Maravich as a kid because of the movie. He like spun the ball in his hand for like an hour. You know what I mean? Like doing that little trick thing. That's the only thing I ever practiced ever in basketball was that.
Can't do that. It's the balance on it.
Yeah,
I can thin fingers.
I don't have fat fingers either, but I can switch it over. That's the only thing I ever practiced in basketball.
Oh no, I can't do it.
In high school is the only thing I ever practiced. But anyways, you said your reserve. You said shirtless fat guy too from Along Came Polly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Right. So we got that up there. We'll throw that up on Twitter. See anyone we left out or who has a better
You guys
team
weren't
here.
picking coaches? I thought you were going to pick a coach.
I didn't have the names picked up. We're running a little late. I'll coach the team.
Yeah,
He'll coach the team.
Honestly. Again,
I'll be a player coach.
There's the Hoosiers coach and there's Coach Carter. I'm picking
Norman Dale or Coach Carter. That's pretty much
that's who I'm
You
picking.
got blue chips, and then that's I would.
Oh yeah, Nick Nolte.
Yeah, that would be probably the guy I would go with.
Well, okay. So there you go. So I take Coach Carter.
Not Whoopi Goldberg and Eddie.
Oh no, that was great. She coached who was it? Rick Fox and John Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Tim, I accidentally got locked out of the computer over here. I need you.
You're the worst.
Yeah, I know I am. I lost track of it. Sorry, I got caught up in trying to figure out who I was going to pick. All right, so that brings us to our 3v3 this week. So we have Ryu. It's Ryu.
Ryu.
From Street Fighter. Obviously, he's in the new... what do you
Marvel
call it?
Capcom?
No, well, he's in that too, but he's in the new Smash Brothers on Switch.
Oh, is he?
They have all those characters mixed in. He's teamed up with Green Arrow, obviously of DC fame, and then Goliath from one of our childhood shows, Gargoyles, which was on Fox Kids, I believe. And then on the other side, we have Johnny Cage from Mortal Kombat, which, Tim, by the way, I don't know. I meant to mention this to you earlier when we were getting ready for the show. I don't know if you know that Spawn is going to be in Mortal Kombat 11. They
have a lot of characters that are going to be in that.
They do, but I mean that's almost reason enough for me to get that game. I won't because I don't play games enough anymore. I don't have time. But anyways, Johnny Cage, Ripster from Street Shark. So for those which shark is he? He's the main one. I think he's technically a great white shark.
Sure, yeah.
And then Rocket Raccoon. Everybody knows who Rocket is. We did have someone weigh in on Twitter, Wes. Was it Howdkins? Hadouken, is that how you say it? Hadouken. All day on Cage. Ripster is a fish out of water, not in his element. Rocket is tough to compete with, but Goliath is sneaky, and Green Arrow is my sniper. I think that's pretty fair logic. Wes, who you taking?
I'm going with Ryu, Green Arrow, Goliath. That's kind of similar thought process of what you were just saying there. I love my Hadoukens all day. That's what I'm going to do that all day, every day with Ryu. That's almost an unstoppable, unstoppable move when you put him up against, I think, Johnny Cage, who's just your average guy.
Did I just read your note for what you were saying? Or is that from someone on Twitter?
Yeah, you just read my note. Yeah.
I thought that was a note from Twitter. I'm sorry.
I would have put someone's name on it.
I thought I thought you put that in there. I'm so sorry, Wes.
Ah, man, we're having a day right here.
No, I'm struggling at the end now. Sorry.
I'm doing Hadoukens. Okay, so yeah, you just.
I don't even know what that means. So you're good.
Why would you pick Ryu and then not know what a Hadouken is?
I don't know what a Hadouken is.
Listen, I'm picking that.
That's the magic thing.
Yeah, I'm picking that team for the exact same reason. They were unstoppable.
They were great.
The only way to beat them was to play the same character.
Yeah.
And do them back. And then it was just nonstop. Hadouken!
Who is it? Is it Ken? Was Ken in the red kimono?
Ken and Ryu were the two that could do it.
They were going back and forth there. But yeah, like Nick had just outlined, Ripster is literally a fish out of water.
That's true.
Very literally.
unbelievable.
You punch him in the gills. He's done.
There is one person that participated, and that's why I thought that you wrote that.
Well, who are you going with?
I'm going with the other side. Real quick, it was Dr. Joe Gilmore, Backcracker. Damn, this is a tough one. I think the team of Johnny Cage, Ripster, and Rocket. You've got a great tech guy, a shark. Let's face it, it is perfect. It is a perfect killing machine, and a fighter who is in the more violent video game of the two properties. I think that's actually a very good point. I think Johnny Cage is going to be able to take out Ryu. Again, you got the Hadoukens like you brought up. I understand that. But Rocket, I think, is the smartest character that you're dealing with here. Green Arrow is a lot...
Hadouken!
See, every time you point out something, we can just say that, and your guy is done.
Green Arrow is not as smart as he thinks he is, and I think Ripster and Goliath would make for the best one-on-one battle in the course of this all. He doesn't need to be in water. He's not... That's not what the street sharks are about. So I'm going with Johnny Cage.
It's a shark.
But he's also on the street.
What are you taking?
He's on the street. He's got gills.
No, I'm picking the same team, literally for the Hadouken.
You're punch him in the gills. He's good.
The Hadouken is...
You need to play Street Fighter again so that you can realize the power of the
I know.
Hadouken.
I just played... The reason I had him is because I went and was helping out at something, not this weekend, but the weekend before with a buddy of mine in Maine at a tournament, and they had Smash, and he was on there, and they had the move. So I knew he had that in there. I just didn't know it was called the Hadouken.
The only move that competes with that is Scorpion's "Get over here."
Yes, yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah, those are like 1 for 1 right there. That's a tough one right there. All right, Nick, let's close out the show. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is that I just can't. I'm like struggling to the finish line. The only thing
Over-caffeinated, overworked.
The only thing I have on my mind is I gotta go. So I saw that Thomas Polito tweeted out the Walking Dead season 10 banner. It has Daryl on it, it has Michonne on it, and it has Carol on it, and they all look like they're ready to get after it. I'm excited to see what if they're gonna if they're gonna have a lot going on. Obviously, with are they gonna go after Alpha and their people again, or is there something else that's going on? I haven't really been paying attention. And the other thing is too. Could have been in the comic book minute, but I figured it'd be better here. I just picked up Saga, which is one of the most popular comics of the past however many years from Image. I have not read a lick of it. It is not my sort of thing normally, but I am excited to see how it reads. It's kind of got like I remember when I read reviews, it's like kind of a soap opera thing to it, and it's very different, very very unique indie comic from Image, and it did very well. So that's what's been on my mind. What do you got, Wes?
Two shows I've been watching, two very opposite ends of the spectrum. First is City on the Hill on Showtime, which we've mentioned already. It's fantastic. Kevin Bacon plays a real POS FBI agent, coke snorting, cigarette smoking, just a real SOB. Mm-hmm. But there's only one time that he has like redeeming qualities, and that's when he's with the black the black DA, DeCourcy Ward. Mm-hmm. That's the only time that he comes across as any sort of like redeeming qualities to him. Every other walk of life that
and
he's
even
in,
then he's an a-hole to him, but
he's
trying
at least
to help
honest,
him.
and he's helping with him. Yeah. But it's just getting good. It's just starting to pick up now. Obviously, it's based in Boston in I want to say 1990 or so, and it deals with Charlestown bank robbers, which is great. So that's kind of fun. Also,
Showtime?
On Showtime, yeah.
Okay.
And also is on HBO on demand right now is The Town, of a similar film, similar type of storyline. On the opposite end of the spectrum is HBO's Euphoria. I don't know if you've seen this or heard of this at all.
Yeah, it's the one with, you brought up last time, Zendaya.
Zendaya, yes. Very...
Episode 2 now?
I think this is episode 3.
Okay.
It's very odd. It's shot visually stunning. I'm just not sure how I feel about the subject matter.
Is it drug
As I
stuff?
was saying to you, it's heavy drug stuff. It's heavy sex, but it's HBO, so they show everything, and it's all high school age characters. So I'm assuming they're of age. Obviously, it's like 90210.
Yep, but
they're
HBO.
playing high school characters.
Oh yeah.
But
I remember
they're
as
all
a kid
like 20, 22, Dawson's Creek, all that sort of thing. But
I remember as a
so
kid.
it's just weird, and they show a lot.
Really?
A lot. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like I don't know, like the conservative person in me kind of cringes and like tenses up through that sort of stuff.
Yeah, with high school kids.
Yeah,
You think?
Yeah, but it's very interesting show. I think it's pretty real to the times.
One little thing before we get going. When I remember as a kid thinking, like, seeing 90210, like, it just back in the day when the actors playing high school kids were just, 20-year-olds who looked, like, closer to high school kids. But I remember thinking, like, is this what people look like when they're in high school? Oh my God, it's like. And then I got to high school, I'm like.
No, you're just still waiting. You get to college and you're still waiting. They're just beautiful people from Hollywood.
Well, that too. They just look so much older than like the people that I was around too. That's the other thing. Like,
one of them was in her 30s when she made that show.
Who was?
The one with the glasses, the nerdy one.
Really?
Gabrielle Katera. She was like 33.
Jeez.
On that show.
Well, I want to apologize to anybody who's still listening. Once we got all our picks drafted, I was struggling at the end, so that's my bad.
It's been a long day. It's
been a lot longer than a day. But we will be talking about Spider-Man Far From Home next week, because that comes out on Tuesday after we're recording it, and then we will have a nice little review package for you guys. Then.